let's look at how we can enhance the programs. So I'm calling these program enhancers. A program enhancer is any activity, game or equipment that can be added to a program to make exercise more varied. Games are ideally suited to the recreational component of a class, and equipment can be incorporated into the cardiovascular and conditioning components of the class. And they're simple and effective ways to motivate participants. Used effectively, they may even forget that they are exercising and begin to enjoy the activities that they thought used to be boring and ineffective. So, tips to get you started. Friendly competition or reward is often a great source of motivation. Select activities that are compatible with the participants' needs and ability levels, obviously. Genuine praise and encouragement will help maintain motivation and elicit a prolonged effort. And ending a class with an activity provides stimulation, brings the group together and promotes rapport amongst themselves. So, now we have equipment that enhances. Plastic or overball, that's a special soft ball that can be thrown and if it hits the face, it will not knock your glasses off. It's a special ball. Parachutes, hula hoops, frisbee, again special soft material, not the real frisbee because it could hurt somebody. Bowling, skittles, baton, which is the French boules, baton sticks, bocce discs, that's the discs, the plastic discs that are thrown, and they're quite often used with people with disabilities. Equipment that adds a little extra to the class as opposed to actually improving fitness. That's what that enhancer would be. Although that often happens anyway because some of the participants may be very deconditioned. So if they're just, throwing the frisbee or the bowling, they could get a good bit of fitness out of it. Then we have equipment that trains. That's the TheraBands, the resistance bands, Dynabands, hand weights, balance boards, balance cushions, wobble boards, Busu board, step, kettlebell, medicine ball, stability ball, all of those things. They all have very special purpose and need to be carefully observed. So let's look at training aids versus enhancers. Let's look at training aids first. Well, the pros for training aids are that muscle strength and endurance would be worked, the components of fitness would be worked, variable resistance, progression, and very low maintenance. The cons then, on the other hand, would be that you do need to give them proper instruction, so that's necessary. And monitoring technique is very essential. They need suitable clothing, and equipment must be in good condition. So if we're looking at training aids versus enhancers, and we're looking at the enhancers, the pros of that, well, it adds enjoyment and a bit of excitement, competition, helps improve balance and coordination, that would be the games. Ranges of motion can be utilised, that would be frisbee. And friendly rivalry promotes socialisation. The cons then would be a large hall or gym might be needed, and concepts and tasks may be hard to grasp and could cause a bit of frustration. But having said all of the above, don't be put off by the fact that some participants are not doing it correctly. It really doesn't matter. The object of the whole thing is to get them to engage in some form of activity. If you're working in a care setting, just throw a softball to someone who's slumped in the corner and they will react, usually positively, and throw it back. Let them know, of course, that you're going to do that, or you're going to throw something at them first. Music as an enhancer. Music is an important factor in setting a comfortable and motivating environment and can be the key ingredient to bring mind, body and spirit together. I have spoken about the temple before, so here I'm talking about the actual class environment. So why use music? First, it sets the climate of the class. It promotes fun. It creates focus. It dictates how fast or slow the beats per minute. It enhances the movement, whether it's rhythmic or not, and it keeps the workout balanced. So you would have a fast one for the aerobic capacity, as we talked before, slower one for the relaxation, and one for the warm-up. There'll be different tempos for that. But just be aware that music that you like may not be to the class's liking. On the other hand, your choice of music may add a little controversy among the group, and that need not be a bad thing. As on one occasion, while working in a nursing home, a lady who would not engage with me on any level suddenly came to life and ate the socks off me for playing a popular marching song, which was It's a Long Way to Tipperary. It reminded her of all the young men that were lost in World War I. We became great friends, and she always waited to give out to me when the song came up. Well, the cautions with music are that the participants may not hear your instructions if it's too loud. And music is distracting if not suitable to the age group. And it can agitate or may agitate emotional or mentally disturbed participants. And it may be the wrong tempo for a particular phase, example, too fast or too slow. Task coming up. Fill in the blanks. Equipment that blank is important for fun, enjoyment and blank element of the class. Equipment that trains is important for the blank and blank element of the class. Equipment that enhances, that's the first blank, is important for the fun, enjoyment and the second blank, social element of the class. And equipment that trains is important for fitness and health element of the class. That's the two last blanks. I hope you got it all, but of course these elements are not mutually exclusive. They can all be in the same class together. Moving on now to nutrition. Different people need different amounts of food. The amount of food you need every day from the 4 food groups depends on your age, body size, activity level and gender, and previous knowledge, as we've said and discussed, is important here. Nutrition plays a vital role in well-being throughout life, and food provides the necessary energy and nutrient requirements for bodily functions and daily activities, and it also plays a vital role in our social and psychological well-being. As I said, previous learning is essential when talking about nutrition for any age group, but be careful about telling someone in your class what to eat unless, of course, you're qualified in that area. Let's look at some of the factors that will affect nutrition in this older population. The factors that are affecting nutrition in older adults are their heredity, culture, life's experience, health, social status, and the conditions of life. Genetics, or what you inherit from your parents or grandparents, influences almost all of our functions in our body. How we metabolize food and expend energy is just one of those functions. Culture influences this as well, and for instance, Japanese people rarely take milk or milk products as they don't have the gene, in fact, to do this. Also in India, as you know, a lot of people would be vegetarians. So your culture does affect how you eat. Life's experience, well, there may be some bad history attached to food or the lack of it, which make older people susceptible to inadequate nutritional intake. Bad health can affect your nutrition. Not getting outdoors enough to get sunlight and therefore enough vitamin D. Your social status, your lower incomes, limited schooling, they all influence nutritional choices. And conditions of life. Everything really. Not being able to go shopping, digestive problems, constipation, socialization, isolation, all contribute to poor nutrition. So the factors that may influence eating habits as opposed to nutrition. Physiological changes caused by aging and disease. Medicines can affect your sense of taste and smell and ability to digest food. Disability can reduce a person's ability to eat unaided. The sense of taste diminishes with age, even whether you're on medicines or not, which is why an awful lot of older people put an awful lot of salt on their food because they can't taste it properly. Poor teeth can have a negative effect on a person's ability to chew, and the throat muscle coordination can deteriorate. Lack of exercise can cause you not to get to eat properly, and dementia and depression are also an influencing factor. That's all the negative things, but just be aware that these things have a bearing on older people's nutrition. So let's look at the factors which influence their eating habits. Having a positive attitude to food is important. Regular meals are good for raising metabolism. It helps retain a healthy body weight. Adequate intake of vitamin D and calcium are essential to prevent osteoporosis. Intake of vegetables is significant in reducing cancer risk, and that's the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and that's brought out in 2003, which is important. Plant steroids, nuts and seeds can reduce cholesterol and IDEA, 2012, and it helps keep people active and in good spirits, and the list goes on and on. It suffices to say that there is no such thing as bad food, just bad habits. All food is good when it is eaten in moderation and with the proper nutritional content. Hydration then. None of the processes that keep you alive and well can take place without water. It aids digestion, helps transport nutrients and waste, helps regulate body temperature, prevents fatigue due to dehydration, and it can be found in other beverages, which is good news. So the older people would like to be able to count other beverages in their daily recommended amount, as they mostly love tea. But be conscious that a lot of tea drinking negates some nutrients in the diet, for instance iron, and this applies to everybody actually. So, the buzzwords in the 90s were nutrate and hydrate. But with older people starting exercise, maybe for the first time, drinking water is a new concept. They are often afraid that they will have to run to the toilet as a result of this, so you need to educate them to the necessity of staying hydrated. The way to do this is to have water available for them and give breaks and encourage them to take it. Most places have water available now and people bring their own, but even so, it is part of your duty of care to ensure that it is available. If it is not, carry a large bottle with you and a packet of paper cups and insist on water breaks, and very soon they'll get the message and come prepared. So, keep hydrated. Drink 8 glasses, that's approximately 2 litres of fluid a day, and choose water for a no-calorie drink. Be aware though that in hot weather or during exercise water is lost, and that people over 65 years cannot depend on feeling thirsty. Thirst is sometimes mistaken for hunger. Even with young children it's the same thing, or tiredness. And other fluid choices, good fluid choices are juices, soups, milk and non-alcoholic drinks. Another task. I want you to give me 5 important reasons for maintaining good nutritional habits. As we said, good nutrition plays a significant part in 1. The well-being of healthy older people. 2. It provides the necessary energy and nutrients requirements for bodily functions and daily activities. 3. It provides the necessary energy and nutrient equivalents for physical activities and exercise. 4. It delays and reduces the risk of contracting disease. 5. It reduces the risk of certain diseases. And 6. Good food keeps you happy. We've come to the end of our whole session. And I just want to say, you can't turn back the clock, but you can wind it up again. And that was said by Bonnie Pruden, who's just died last year at the ripe old age of 97.